Well, here we are. So this is the all-new Focus Atlas 8.9 gravel bike, and in this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and also I will tell you some likes and dislikes. So hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. So as I was saying, Focus Atlas 8.9 gravel bike, which has a retail price of hard-earned 5,299 euros. So definitely not a cheap gravel bike. So for this Focus Atlas 8.9, let's first answer the question, who is this bike for? So this is a gravel bike from Focus, specifically kind of designed for adventure gravel riding. So I would almost call it like you are spending long days in the saddle on the gravel. Maybe you also like some bike packing, so then this gravel bike would be an ideal case for you. Of course, when we look at this specific package of the bike with these aerodynamically optimized wheels, I would definitely also say that this bike can easily be used for gravel racing if you are into that. So definitely a kind of multi-purpose gravel bike, which is always nice to see. Okay, let's kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike. So this is the carbon fiber frame from Focus and also the matching carbon fiber fork. They have all the usual modern, items. So for example, this carbon frame and the fork, internally routed cables, 12mm through axles front and the back. Also, in this instance, we are having the SRAM SRAM dub bottom bracket. In this instance, it is a threaded bottom bracket. And also on this frame, there is a down tube storage, which is always very useful because you can use it for storing some smaller tools or maybe bringing some food with you. I like these down tube storage, little pockets, because they are very, very useful. So all in, lots of mounting points on this carbon fiber frame. So very useful for bike packing, for example. So definitely, as you can see, when it comes to this frame and the fork, carbon fiber from Focus, I absolutely have no complaints here. I would just mention that there is only one paint scheme on offer. This is this, I would call it almost like a carbon paint scheme with a hint of this kind of glitter, which looks very, very interesting and very unique. I haven't seen this paint scheme on any other bikes unless you are going some kind of, very customized paint scheme. So it's a very, very nice paint scheme. Of course, I wish that since the retail price is, 5,300 euros, I wish that they at least offer you another paint scheme to choose from. Moving on to the saddle and the seat post. So this seat post is a carbon fiber seat post, 27.2 millimeters in diameter. Absolutely excellent standard carbon fiber seat post. It is definitely going to soak up a lot of the road bumps, exactly what you want. And then this saddle is from Physique R5 saddle. From my personal experience, Physique does excellent saddles, so if you like it, very, very good. If you don't, it's going to be easy to replace. Now let's talk about this handlebar and the stem on this bike. So luckily, handlebar and the stem are separate pieces on this bike. And what's also interesting here is that the stem is a carbon fiber stem from Focus, and then you have the aluminum handlebar from Zip, and this would be the Zip SL70 aluminum handlebar with a bit of flare at the ends. So it is definitely a nice combination, no problems here. I like that these pieces are separate, because if you ever need to change anything with the handlebars, for example, the width of the handlebar, or maybe even you want to change the shape, it's going to be very easy in this instance. And of course, then in the future, it leaves you the space if you are upgrading the handlebar to like a carbon fiber one. Again, it's going to be easier to replace. So this is a very, very nice solution. Of course, in this instance, the only cables that are running, below the handlebar below the stem into the frame are going to be the cables for the hydraulic disc brakes in this specific bike configuration. So all in, very nice, neat solution for the handlebar and the stem. A bit of kind of, aerodynamically optimized with this stem, but nothing special, nothing super proprietary, which is always nice to see. Now, speaking about the group set on this bike, as I was mentioning, so this is the latest, greatest SRAM rival E1 Explore group set. So this is the 13-speed, fully wireless group set from SRAM, so shifters, no front mech, and then you have a huge rear mech. Everything communicates wirelessly. Also the cassette, the chain, and the front chainring, which is a single chainring at the front. Everything is the SRAM rival Explore group set. Absolutely stunning piece of engineering, excellent wireless group set. I definitely have, no complaints when it comes to these wireless group sets. SRAM is still, in my opinion, dominating the market. Also, some of the smaller pieces here, when you look at this cassette, this is the SRAM cassette, a huge cassette at the back, a 1046 cassette at the back. It is paired with the single chainring at the front. This chainring is a 40-tooth chainring. So in my opinion, you have a good, gear ratio, good gear spread because of this huge 1046 cassette at the back. The chain that's used here is the SRAM rival chain, their 13-speed compatible chain, and I can definitely advise you in the future, when you destroy this chain and when you destroy this cassette, definitely buy something from SRAM that is specifically 13-speed compatible. This is what you exactly want. I'll just mention here that this rear mech is absolutely mega and huge, but this is the requirement of this fully wireless group set because the battery sits here in the rear mech powering the whole system. So absolutely stunning wireless 13-speed group set from SRAM. Definitely no complaints here from me. Now moving on to the braking system. This is interesting. So we also have here the SRAM rival hydraulic disc brakes, both the front and the back, using the SRAM HS2 braking rotors. But an interesting thing here is that if you are buying the size medium or size small on this bike, then the braking rotors are 160 millimeters both front and the back. But if you are going for the sizes of large and extra large, then you are getting a bigger braking rotor at the front, and this rotor is going to be 180 millimeters. Exactly what I like to see here. Somebody was thinking, and I'm glad that they are including 180 millimeter braking rotor at the front, because definitely it's going to help you with good heat dissipation and good stopping power, especially if you are, using the large, extra large frame sizes. Maybe you even have some bike packing on it. So definitely great move from Focus to consider that you can run 180 millimeters braking rotor at the front, and they will, of course, set it up immediately if you are using the size large or size extra large for this bike. Okay, moving on to the wheels and the tires on this bike. So this is again one of the secret sauces of this bike. So this wheel set is the Zip 303 Explore S carbon fiber wheel set, a dedicated carbon fiber wheel set for gravel riding. If you are buying this wheel set on the on the open market, it will set you back approximately 1,200 euros. So definitely, not a cheap carbon fiber wheel set. But some of the key things of this wheel set are, so the rim height is 53 millimeters, internally 32 millimeters, everything fine, everything excellent. Hubs on this wheel set are sealed cartridge bearings from Zip, absolutely fine, no special complaints here. You also have a lifetime warranty on this carbon fiber wheel set. This is also tubeless compatible, but this wheel set is a hookless wheel set. And specifically with these hookless wheel sets, you gotta be careful which tires you are using, and you gotta be careful what's the maximum pressure. So for example, for this wheel set, maximum pressure you can run is 50 psi or 3.45 bar. And also, when it comes to the tires you can use, Zip gives you a list of approved tires to be used with this wheel set. I will leave this link in the video description. So for example, there are a bunch of tires from Goodyear, there's a bunch of tires from Kenda, Panaracer, Schwalbe, Vittoria, but for example, you don't see tires from Pirelli, you don't see tires from Continental, so you gotta be careful, which tires you are using on this wheel set. And specifically this hookless wheel set is designed for the tires between 40 millimeters and 60 millimeters wide. So definitely just a little bit more to pay attention to when it comes to running tires on this wheel set. Also, the total weight of this wheel set is going to be approximately 1,610 grams, so perfectly fine in my opinion for a gravel, pretty robust wheel set. But definitely, I'll repeat it again, please make sure that you are using compatible tires on this wheel set, and also that the maximum tire pressures are less than or maximum 50 psi. Okay, out of the box, the tires you are getting on this wheel set are the Schwalbe G1 R Pro tire. This is a 45 millimeter tires, both front and the back. I mean, excellent stuff. Schwalbe makes excellent tires, and in my opinion, 45 millimeter tires for this gravel bike on this rim, totally fine and definitely okay. I wouldn't go wider, but there's also a little slight problem with this frame and the fork, that the rear tire, the maximum tire width you can run is exactly this 45 millimeters tire, but at the front you can run up to 53 millimeter tires. I can't exactly figure out why didn't they increase the tire width at the back also, that you can run with this carbon fiber frame. So you are basically limited to 45 millimeter tires at the back or 53 millimeters at the front. Definitely, for people who like to run, 50 millimeter tires, 52 millimeter tires, this is a bit limiting, and probably they will, never even consider this bike because of it. But I think for the majority of the riders, if you are running, 45 millimeter tires front and the back, it's going to be more than enough in attacking, any kind of, gravel bike riding, and it's definitely going to give you a smooth bike ride. So all in a summary, what would I say? What are some of the main likes and dislikes when it comes to this Focus Atlas 8.9 bike? So let's start with some of the likes. So definitely this group set that's on the bike, SRAM Rival Explore 13 speed, fully wireless group set, absolutely excellent group set for gravel riding, single chainring, all top notch in my opinion. Also when it comes to carbon fiber frames and the forks, Focus knows what they are doing. They know how to make a quality carbon fiber frame and the fork, and I'm also glad that the handlebar and the stem are separate pieces, so it's going to be a bit easier if you need to upgrade anything in the future. And definitely, the wheel set they have included, this carbon fiber wheel set from Zip 303 Explore. It's a very, very good wheel set. Also, aerodynamically optimized, pretty deep at 54 millimeters. But definitely, a few things you need to be aware of here is that this wheel set is the hookless wheel set, so please be careful with tire pressures and compatible tires. And also another negative I would add here is that retail price of this bike is 5,300 euros, which is a very steep price in my opinion, and I think that you will probably have to negotiate a bit with your local bike shop if you really want to buy this bike, and if you can get a discount of approximately 15 to 20%, then definitely I would say go for it. As it is now, just a little bit too expensive in my opinion. So I think this is it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!